among the half a dozen players that Bradford brought in the summer to improve their chance of staying in the Premiership. The name of the Italian Benito Carboni raised most eyebrows after his free transfer from Aston Villa. He's among 4 of the new boys on view today. Carboni partnering Ashley Ward up front. Dan Petrescu, late of Chelsea, is in midfield. Peter Atherton, late of Sheffield Wednesday, in central defence. The other 2 new men, David Hopkin and Ian Nolan, are among the injured. Indeed, Bradford's 4 defenders today are the only fit ones at the club. Their problem has been scoring goals, so they must look with envy at Southampton's lightning Latvian Marian Pahars, who's already got 5 in the Premiership. He's recovered from the hamstring injury, which kept him out of the Worthington Cup tie in midweek. So Southampton field the same team that earned their first Premiership win of the season last weekend against Newcastle. Steve Dunn is in charge for a match that even in September has the shadow of the relegation issue hanging over it. Bradford in the bottom 3, Southampton just above them, 1 point better off. Chris Hutchings was the assistant manager here under Paul Jewell, elevated to the top job after Paul Jewell moved on. There have been big changes since then, lots of new faces around the club. Weatherall's header. Lundekvarm's header. Oh, that's misdirected. Here's Benito Carboni. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, chances don't come better gift-wrapped than that. Poorly directed header, knocked on, perhaps unintentionally, by Lee Sharp, but Carboni could have done all sorts of things with that. He had the space to have a couple of touches and go further forward. Well, Bradford's home form includes that impressive 2-0 defeat of Chelsea. He also drew here 0-0 against Leicester and 1-1 against Arsenal. But here's Kashlul. Oh, good challenge by Peter Atherton in the nick of time. That's a very decent run, and Kashlul's shot brings the first save from Matthew Clark. Headed out by Richards. Here's Tesson. Pahars operating on this right side. El Khalij. Oh, it's a wayward shot by James Beattie. Well, both sides have had opportunities to shoot on target. Here's Oakley. Dodd. Tesson. Hooked in. Kashlul arrives. Oh, and it might be an own goal. Well saved by Clark, but it's in. Southampton have scored. And Bradford are protesting to Steve Dunn. Maybe that there'd been a foul. But who did get the final touch on that? The Southampton players are quick to congratulate Kashlul. But it may well have been Gunnar Halle who had the final touch. Dodd. Southampton making no really major summer signings. They brought in Uwe Rosler. Here's Tesson. The corner. Tesson looking for what would have been goal number 3 of this campaign, and Bradford will be concerned about how easily he stole into a position behind their defence. Dodd, back to Cashlewell, the big men have stayed forward. Glenn Hoddle steered Southampton to 15th place last season. They didn't quite have the battle to avoid relegation right up to the final match. That has been their style in recent seasons. This is Windass. Jones has come. Petrescu just trying to lift it in. Richards defends the goal line, and he did so very bravely. Under great pressure from Ashley Ward. And Dean Richards making sure that he kept his eye on the ball, despite the clear knowledge that he was about to get clattered. That's an easy catch for Paul Jones. Dean Richards signed on a Bosman free transfer from Wolves in July of last year. Has proved a worthy acquisition down on the south coast. McCall battling in midfield. Taken away from them. Here's Beattie, head down, legs pumping. Brought down, it's a free kick. And it may be a yellow card for Dan Petrescu. It is. And this could well be the last action of the first half. There's no doubt about the decision or the yellow card. Too high. Matthew Oakley with the final act of the first half, which has illustrated Bradford's problems, their inability to score goals. But Glenn Hoddle with plenty of reason at half-time to feel satisfied with the way his team are performing. It's Bradford 0, it's Southampton 1. With the ability to slow the action down to only 20% of its original speed, we can see quite clearly that it was an own goal by Gunnar Halle. Whichever boot touched the ball last, it's given Southampton the ascendancy with just the second half to play. Bradford still pondering their problems in front of goal. Kept in by Carboni to Petrescu. Ashley Ward. Free kick has been given. And Ashley Ward has stupidly pushed over El Khalij. Now, he's got himself in trouble totally unnecessarily. Now, the referee's got an option here. He can actually send Ashley Ward off. He's raised his hands and he's pushed over an opponent, and maybe he's lucky to only get a yellow card. Well, that's the clumsy challenge. It was a pull on his shorts as much as anything, which brought the free kick. And then flattening him. Carboni wants to take it. McCall hovering just behind him. Maybe it would have been better to have left it for the assistant manager. Carboni's contribution so far hasn't been notable to the cause of Bradford and their new manager, Chris Hutchings. Carboni was not offside. Got 3 to look for. Looking for Gunnar Halle! Oh, he'd have loved to have scored that to level things up. He's claiming it came off the shoulder of the defender, but it's a goal kick that's been given. Offside flag. Well, Pahars has been quiet out on that right side. haven't seen the electrifying pace that has illuminated his game. That was a good shot on the turn by Ashley Ward. It's forced the first real save that Paul Jones has had to make, although his goal line was protected for him in the first half by Dean Richards. First chance really that the Welsh international has had to show his quality. Weatherall wins the header. That's Dodd. Here's Pahars. Won by Dodd. Windass was waiting for it to drop for him. Cashlewell went in bravely. Here's McCall. Still pressure for Southampton to soak up. Here's Gareth Grant. But Carboni! Well, the youngster on as a substitute played his part in setting up the chance for Carboni's diving header. Headed it down into the turf and was never really going to trouble Paul Jones. What an arrival that would have been for a young substitute. Hooked in by McCall. Carboni! Still Carboni! Windass arrives, it's a corner. Oh, what a scramble. For once it appeared that Southampton's central two of Lundek, Varman, Richards were going to be unstitched. There was a moment when Carboni was surrounded by 4 defenders. Ward had the attempt at a shot. Young Gareth Grant had half a chance. Windass arrived and it's squeezed out for a corner. Lundek Varm explaining to his goalkeeper just why he and Richards failed to get it clear. Wayne Jacobs will take the corner. Southampton are happy to clear it out of their half. Here's McCall, who'll just surely hoist it back. Oh, Marsden had done well to get in front of him and make it difficult. Knocked up by Saltvet. Rossler back defending. McCall to wind up for what could be the final throw of the dice. We're into the last few seconds. Headed up by El Khalij, that's Carboni. Shot by Wayne Jacobs, never threatening the target. It's Southampton's 3rd win in the space of 8 days. They're 2nd in the Premiership, and the problems for Bradford are all too clear. It's an inability to score goals. Gunnar Halle is distraught that it's his own goal which separates the teams at the final whistle. Bradford 0, Southampton 1, the first relegation match of the season, played in late September.